Um, it's at that point that like the darkness seems to part for a moment, and you enter into like a cavern, and there's some kind of altar with a skull on it.
No. The skulls aren't good when they're just presented like this, I believe.
You don't say.
That's the extent of my occult knowledge right there. What do you make of this?
Well, disturbing to say the least, but I am not familiar with such. Am I familiar with such presentations of the dead or their remains, a ritualistic way?
Yeah, that's probably as close as you're gonna get. Is that it's definitely some kind of ritual. The interesting thing is even with the fact that you're more occultist rather than like more versed in the Demorphin mysteries and stuff like that, because you've been investigating the occult and you have some experience in the occult, you feel a dark presence is in that room with you.
Well, there's only one thing to do about menacing skulls casting secret rituals, and Alfie's going to, I assume, because this is in a mine, he can find a large rock.
Yeah, you can find a large rock. Yeah, sure.
He's gonna like shoulder part of his belly. He's just gonna take the rock and he's gonna start walking over to the skull.
We're not alone here.
I mean, would this seem like, and again, pronunciation guide necessary? Lida? Like they were using sacrifice to call upon a natural spirit?
No, it doesn't look like that.
Okay, I was thinking like a spirit of decay or something like that.
No, this looks like it's the skull of someone, and that's they've been summoning whoever that skull belonged to. And then as he starts heading towards the skull,
I stop him. I go like, there is a presence here.
Yeah, and in that moment, that presence presents itself as a black cloaked figure, the hood kind of pulled over. You can't see their face, and they kind of shimmer in and out of existence. It just stands there.
Drops the rock.
Mental resistance rolls, please.
Uh-oh. We did it.
Last one was the easy one. Oh boy.
Hey, I got a positive number this time.
Here's the thing though, is I keep failing these, I'm gonna start hallucinating. And then am I already? Who knows? Right?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about this system, is that the mental side of thing is hidden from the players. Because in like Call of Cthulhu, obviously you start to know that you're going mad, but in this, like, you're like, am I going mad? So, yeah, it's just kind of standing there, and what you can see is like this the kind of black tendrils coming out of it as it just stands there.
I don't like this.
I don't think touching the black tendrils there would be a good idea. Maybe I have something here. I'll like set down the lantern on the ground, or reach into my bag, and I'll start unpacking the chainsaw. We'll just move them out of the way real quick.
Yep. So as you start doing that, there's like a sudden blur of black shadow as it just kind of rushes towards you and then just kind of goes through you.
Oh no!
It's gonna like stagger backwards.
And then everyone else, like you see that, everyone else just sees it standing right behind you now. Kind of breathing on your neck, and you feel something there.
I will go ahead and lash out at it.
Okay.
With the chainsaw.
It just goes through it.
Ah! I probably haven't revved it up at this point.
Is there any way that I know of dispelling or otherwise containing such an operation?
Do you have exorcism or You have some occult knowledge.
Let me see what am I called, because I have an esotericism. Yes.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, give me a roll of that.
21.
Nice. Okay. This is
Nice.
definitely a very powerful entity, whatever it is, and it would require a powerful ritual to dispel it. And you don't have the regents on hand. You know that it probably can't harm you. It doesn't, because it doesn't seem to be able to take physical form. But all of you kind of start to feel this kind of low energy kind of draining.
Feeling colder and colder, yeah. We must leave now. This thing is tied to this place.
I
Before
agree.
Greg-
I'm out of here.
I don't have a problem with that.
And I'm gonna pick up the lamp and I'm gonna start hustling.
What? That's my lamp!
It's mine now.
Okay, so you start running towards the top of the mine, and the mine door shuts,
Oh no.
and then
Oh no.
the darkness just starts to creep further and further until you're all just standing in this like a corridor of pitch black.
I would like to pull out one of my stones.
Nice.
The flame stone.
Great. Okay.
And I would like to spend Rindath to attempt to create a bonfire on the skull.
Okay. So yeah, you didn't run while the others ran.
No, I wouldn't run.
Okay. Great. So yeah, the Morphin art sheet will tell you pretty much how to do that.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to use circle 2 because I don't want to... because otherwise I'm walking up and touching the skull, which seems like a bad idea. So 5 yards away.
Yeah.
Actually, I think maybe I'll go for circle 3.
Okay.
I'll shoot for circle 3, which has a difficulty of 17.
Yeah, it does.
Also allows me to cast from 50 yards away, but it's not so much that. I'm looking more at the persistency of 1 minute.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I can do to make this roll easier on myself.
Probably not. There's very little on hand at the moment.
Alright, so making the roll.
Yeah.
And I made it.
Yeah, and then you just spend that Rindath.
Yep, it's all of my Rindath.
And then there's just like this igniting fire, and the shadow just kind of retreats, and then you see that like shadowy figure just kind of scream and then reel back and then kind of zip into the skull.
And the skull is the center of the bonfire.
Yep.
I don't imagine the skull would be destroyed by 2d10 damage, would it?
No, the skull is not destroyed.
Alright. But yeah,
You have, however, managed to make the thing retreat back into the skull.
I don't know, Alfie. Maybe a giant rock time? I don't get too close to the fire, though.
I'll get the rock. I'll get the rock.
He's getting the rock. I'm gonna try the door.
I guess
Is
maybe
the door
I
like barred. or
Shout up
locked?
the mine since you all ran.
Oh, it felt when you tried to open it, it felt like there was something pushing it. But now that it's retreated into there, you can just open the door and leave.
All right, perfect. Yeah, I'm out.
Does it have like, what's it called when the attachments to the door, the frame?
Oh yeah, a latch, yeah, or something.
No. I mean,
A bolt.
No. That's for closing. I'm talking about where it actually swings. I forgot.
Oh, hinge.
Hinge, yeah. Does it have any bolts in there? It's like metal pieces, something like that?
Yeah. It's a fairly normal door hinge.
I can pull those out and have the door fall so they cannot be closed again.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you
I
can
mean-
levitate the door, in which case it doesn't matter.
Starts a new door made out of shadow stuff that you can't interact with, but you could just walk right through it.
I
Let's go to
mean,
the village and get the materials needed if they have them in order to fully banish this thing.
should I hit it with a rock?
I say go for it. You're here. You got the rock. The other two
All right.
ran.
His world.
You came back.
All right, let's go. Let's hit it with a big rock.
Okay, so yeah, you just lift up the rock and just gonna go bang onto the skull.
Yeah.
Of which then there's like a shockwave and you're thrown across the mine.
Oh no. Goes spinning across the floor, kind of slides to a halt, smacks into a wall, just like, oh.
I mean, not for nothing, but I probably don't even
Slowly
watch.
getting up.
I probably don't even watch Alfie fly backwards. I just stare through the flames to see if he destroyed the skull or not.
Yeah. No, the skull's still there.
It's that scene from Independence Day. Target remains, sir. Target remains.
Yeah.
Well, in my professional opinion, I'd say we burn the supports and bury this whole place.
Well, the fire's already raging. If you want to
Yeah, it's true.
grab some kindling and spread it.
I mean, we should probably move whatever's around here, get the bodies out, and then light it up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's no bodies. It's just
Oh, yeah.
bloody clothes.
Yeah. So
Well, we do
Alright.
have a chainsaw. They're wooden beams.
Yeah, but
there'd be
I'm
copies for mine, yeah.
I'm saying we probably don't want to be in the mine chainsawing them
No,
while we're
Well, we
chainsawing
go
the supports.
back, and
Just-
the door.
Also the
door
fact that-
serves as a frame, right?
also from an outer character perspective, the chainsaw fuel is expensive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, technically, Simon here hasn't actually activated his chainsaw. He wheeled back and tried to hit the thing with a turned-off chainsaw.
I tried to slap someone with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the order of business, he's gonna light the supports. He's gonna hustle the hell out of there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll
So
be
yeah,
helping
you
Alfie.
you basically you set fire to the mine, and you hear kind of like screaming coming from the mine, and yeah, that is not human screaming coming from that mine.
Yeah.
And then the mine kind of collapses.
Hmm. Yeah. Alfred's probably just gonna be like looking into the mine with like the screaming and such, and he's gonna be holding his hexagram as he
Yeah,
does. So he's kind of muttering something.
As you're holding that out, and as you see like the burning and stuff like that, for a moment you think you see lots of like blood-covered figures like walking towards
Oh
you,
jeez.
and then it's just at the moment that the mine collapses that they disappear.
Thank God Alfie sees that, not me.
Mental resistance roll, Alfie.
Oh boy!
Hmm.
I just mean if I saw
Wha-
it, I would think I was hallucinating, but Alfie
Me-
seeing it is something else.
Yeah, Alfred's mental resistance is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, so you saw that.
Oh.
Oh, have
He's
any
got-
of you had a 10 yet on mental resistance? No, because it would have said.
Yeah, no, I
critical
don't think any of
success.
us have rolled a 10.
Oh, Alfie has.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what that does is it causes mental hardening,
Okay.
which is good at the start, but as you get more and more, you start to shut down.
Desensitized.
Yeah, you start to lose emotions and eventually just become a husk. So
Okay. So should I put that one step on balance?
no, I'm
All
putting it down.
All
It's
right.
fine.
Okay, we got him.
Yeah, so just going through what mental hardening is. So yeah, when you roll a 10, that causes mental hardening.
And I assume that makes it easier to resist trauma.
Oh yeah, it basically adds makes the mental resistance roll easier for you.
Nice.
for each stage. So with like balance, symptom, syndrome, madness, each of those stages add like +2, +3, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mad
yeah,
hardening.
the mine has collapsed.
Oh.
I suppose that's one end to this.
Alfie looks a bit shaken up. He's gonna immediately like still kind of blankly staring at the collapsed mine. She's gonna reach into his pocket. He's gonna unscrew his flask and he's gonna take a long drag.
Can I get a sip of that?
Holds it over.
Takes a
All right,
longer,
gentlemen.
more inappropriate amount of drag.
like as you like take a couple swallows, Alfie's gonna like slowly turn towards you.
Well,
I lied
Stu,
earlier. My wineskin's empty.
I can see that.
we might have to still go to the village and bring these folks to justice, and then
Oh,
see if we
yes.
can finish this.
Oh, agreed. But first, gentlemen, I think perhaps it's time we get some rest.
Oh, actually, I think we need to ask Dorn a couple of questions.
Well, ask away. I won't stop you.
Oh, I just thought some of you might be more intimidating than I am.
I don't.
You're
I
asking
don't.
a lot of me.
Well, maybe Alfie here. Alfie did kill the sun in one shot.
Technically,
did.
intimidation is relation here, if I'm reading right. And I probably have the best relation, is going to be my guess.
What's your relation?
3.
-4.
My problem is I'm also remembering characters that no longer exist.
Alright, so I'll let you
relation
handle it.
-2. Actually, mine's
I'm the one with the
technically
highest
4.
religion. Yeah.
Mine's technically 4 because I have 2 with a 2 bonus. So, because I have intuition.
I also have high empathy as well. 4. So
I have an empathy of 5. I guess
then
that
you're
makes
higher.
me the best talker. Oh, you guys are screwed.
Yeah, so you enter into the hut. You come in on a scene which is Anais is currently got a throat around the wife's neck.
I don't care about her.
I stop her. It's like put my sword between them. It's like, you might want to leave that for the authorities, my lady.
Of course,
Yeah.
I don't begrudge you your desire for revenge.
Yeah.
As satisfying as it may be, and I do believe it would be extremely satisfying.
She nods, then just gets a chair and then sits down.
Dorn.
And then, like, the wife just kind of like rubs her neck.
Wait, she isn't
Awesome.
tied up?
Yeah, she was tied up. Both of
Oh yeah,
them.
yeah, she was that tied up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get those arms back behind your head. Redo.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Someone retie that woman back up.
Or she let her go just so she can properly.
Or maybe she cut herself out with the kitchen knife on the floor.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess the dog wouldn't really spur enough to stop her.
No.
Anyway, Dorn,
Mm-hmm.
laying on the floor or what?
Dawn is. You get a sense that he was trying to find his way out, and he's currently kind of like that whole thing of like when you try and
inchworming?
shuffle across the floor.
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
inchworming his way.
Yeah, he's trying to head towards the door, and then as you
Yeah.
come in, he's just there.
He's at our feet. It's like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
I
kind
want
of looks up.
to do one of those crouches and say, I got a question I need to ask you, and I need you to answer truthfully.
Okay.
Where did you get the stones?
From the mine.
Who gave you the stones?
The spirit in the mine.
Have you talked to the spirit?
Yes, I've talked to the spirit.
What did it tell you?
It said it could teach me, and it showed me where to find the stones in the mine.
Where did you find the stones?
They were hidden amongst some rubble. There was like a hidden compartment.
Was there anything else there other than the stones?
Yeah, there was a letter.
Do you still have that letter?
He nods.
Where is it?
It's in my bedroom.
Julius, I think there's a letter in this bedroom that you're probably apt to read. I say out loud, not knowing where Julius is.
Oh, yes.
I mean, it's
Sorry.
probably like a 2-room house if we're being honest.
Yeah.
I tried searching, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it doesn't take you long, because it's just like a small bedroom just for the two of them, and then you just kind of pull out a drawer, and then you find this letter. The gist of what the letter says is that it seems to be from a very, very high level Morkyle, who said that they were going to go and do some kind of ritual within a mine, and that if they completed the ritual, then they would be able to conquer death.
I read this aloud so that,
Yeah.
for the benefit of those who can't read.
The
I.e.
interesting
me.
thing is that it seems that whatever this cult is, it seems to be older than people think it is, because it seems that he was involved in the cult in the Shadow Council, because the whole letter is pretty much talking about this is the true way, and that we should use the abilities for ourselves.
Conquering death, but at the cost of how many
Is
victims?
there also a name signed on?
There is no name.
Is there a
It's
symbol?
yeah, basically trying to, in case someone did find it,
Oh,
remain
okay.
anonymous.
So not really a to and from letter, more of a to those who may be concerned.
Yes.
Oh,
All
well, there's probably like a code name or like a code sigil, and that would have been given to members of the Shadow Council. It's just that if that letter was to be discovered by, the actual council, then they would just go, this person is Morkyle. Seize them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Probably with a wax seal or something in the
Yeah.
letter that got broken, and that once I got rid of that, then they would know they would know who the letter was from without having to actually put it on the letter itself.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, Julius, if I could just take that letter, I'll keep it with the stones for when I turn this all over to the Moorhen back
Of
when we go
course.
to town.
Of course.
Yeah, it seems that the spirit that you encountered was an incredibly high level Morkyle. We're talking probably like 8th circle kind of
Well, I mean,
stuff.
anything above 6 is.
Yeah. Something like that, and that they were literally trying to conquer, death, but became some kind of horrible corrupted thing in the process.
No, he was mostly successful.
Mostly.
They were mostly successful. I mean, they're not
I guess
dead.
that is true. I guess they did technically succeed, but I'm not sure that's worth the cost.
Yeah, I'd rather be in the ground than be something like that.
No, he is in the ground. They are in the ground.
You know what I mean.
Still, I suspect that there might be another ritual to reverse this, just in case someone else tries.
Well,
We're not
I
done with
mean,
this place yet.
they've gone so far out of their way to do something that should not have been done. I doubt that there's an opposite end to. You understand what I'm trying to get at here? I'm not the best with
Well,
words.
I'm thinking that perhaps a counter ritual would release them from the condition. That is
Right. But they've gone so far off the rails to make this ritual that should never have existed that nobody probably has any research into reversing a thing that should never have been done. There's a reason why they are a Morhile. Then
There might be a way. Not just, well, not one by your understanding.
I think I laugh like one of those impulsive, like, I don't know if you understand the thing that you just said was funny.
And you said that, and I understand you're trying to laugh, and I just looked you dead in the eye, like, yeah, I actually know what I'm saying, which is, I didn't say it was easy though.
I mean, to my understanding, I don't think so. I'm saying this in the anime character one. To my understanding, I don't think so, and that's the emotion I'm trying to portray.
Yeah.
I know.
Like an insanity level Catholic type to a Presbyterian.
Yeah.
Like this is. You say you know what you're talking about, but I don't think you know what you're talking about.
I support the second Nicene Council, not the first. Ah, you fool.
Look, only I truly know how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. And I will kill you if you say
74,
otherwise.
exactly.
No, it's 9,900,100,199,199. Yeah.
It's actually a gorillion.
Anyway, it's
Anyway.
Okay, so yeah, you've read the letter and you've found out exactly what it was.
I put it in a pouch with the two corrupted stones.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Anais is just kind of sitting there with a head in her hands.
I'll go ahead and sit with Anais and just sit next to her, gently pat her shoulder, not demand anything of her, of course.
Yeah,
Just, comfort.
She says, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't do this on my own.
Well, you're out here looking for Gregory as well, right?
No, I'm looking for my
For
my son. He's been
yeah.
taken in by a bunch of religious zealots.
Oh dear.
I
I'm so sorry.
might know something about that, but best we discuss that in town after we have turned these individuals over.
Well, you're heading to Mudan, aren't you?
Mhm.
It's probably
That's
best
right.
I tell you what happened because that's where everything is.
I'm here to listen.
Okay.
Yes.
So 16 years ago, I was in a relationship with someone I believe to be the man of my life, Therian, an idealistic botanist, imaginist. During an expedition into the Moor Fosser, he came into contact with the Demorphin culture. For a while, he had been nurturing second thoughts regarding what Magins entails, namely the toxic waste resulting from the extraction of flux. However, his reaction was disproportionate. He became fascinated with an old, disheveled woman who went about with a staff adorned with bells made of shells and decided to stay there. Later, he wrote to me to announce that he was breaking up with me and wanted to become the apprentice of that old bat. At that point, I was pregnant with Aiden, but Farian didn't know about it. About 12 years ago, the egotistic lunatic happened to hear about the child and plotted to destroy my life. To sum it up, he came back to steal my son, and shortly after I learned they had both died in a shipwreck. For a while, I mourned them, even him, I could almost forgive him. However, a merchant friend, Dulan, recently brought me news that changed everything. He had business in KYR, Mudan, between Osterbile and Ardmonarch. That was where he recognized Therian. He was older, marked by years, tanned by sun, but it was him. He could not believe his eyes, and since the look of festivities had made people talkative, he was able to learn more. He was told that the man was indeed a Rhysite, which is people from the place of Magians, and that he loathed Magians, and that he had arrived some 12 years ago with a child, claiming that he was the father and that the mother was dead. I am certain that Therian faked his and my son's death with the sole purpose of abducting him to take him to a village known to be populated by fundamentalist Demorphen, who live in complete backwardness and isolation. They have seeded from Mudan and founded their own community, which they have dubbed Higher Mudan. They call themselves the Pure and revile Magians as much as the Temple. Ferian destroyed my life, and I will never forgive him for doing so. However, what I want above all is just to find my son and flee him from those maniacs, and I need your help.
What's here?
That sounds like
Surely.
quite a pickle.
Ikaro, please stop barking.
It's
She
quite a
says,
town.
okay, I will pay you. I have these writs. You just take them to the Bramble Knights, and they will get you money. Basically, what the writs are is basically they take them to the Bramble Knights, and the Bramble Knights have this bank so that travelers don't have to carry an inordinate amount of money with them.
Mhm.
And they just take these writs to the nearest Bramble Knight enclave, and they get money from that. It's not like a banking system. She says, well, I can give you these writs, and then you can go and get money. But also, if you help me, I know where Gregory was heading. I met him on
You
the
do?
road.
Where?
Help me first, and I'll tell you.
I will. As your friend, I will.
Thank you.
Well,
She says, let's best get some sleep tonight. It's going to be fairly interesting tomorrow.
I agree. Oh, I could definitely use some rest. And he'll like take like a piece of cloth and he'll like wipe some blood off like a spot and like, I guess I'm bedding down here.
yep. Well, should we keep watches then? Just in case.
Yeah, who's keeping watch?
I'll keep first watch.
Okay.
I'm not gonna keep watch, and I'm instead gonna go out into the woods and meditate.
Oh yeah, you need to get your Rindaf back.
Yeah. So for the next 5 hours or so, I'm gonna be in the woods meditating.
Yeah, so you just find like a little grove. It's
I guess there is a master bedroom to rest in.
yeah, true.
No blood.
I don't sleep much. I stay. Also, I want to make sure that these guys do not try to run again. Remove all sharp objects from nearby, etc.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Put them in a chair, prop all the knives up to face them, so if they move, they get stabbed.
Oh, that's cruel. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So everyone is finding at least some way to rest, even if they're not sleeping. Yeah, you go to a small like a place where you can just like meditate. The birds are still there, just kind of resting in the trees. Like it seems like they've probably like called like a lot of birds from all across KYR to that point, and now the birds are just there. And since they're no longer controlled, they don't know where to go.
Oof.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna use the stone to tell them, so
Oh.
I'm not gonna use a corrupted stone to release the birds.
Well, you
Yeah.
could use a regular stone to tell the birds where to...
Yeah, but I don't have that stone. All I have is the corrupted one.
No, I mean a rock.
Just throw a rock into the tree.
Yeah, I don't know how Adamhal died. Seems like he just threw a rock at a multitude of
bunch
birds
of
and they
very
went crazy
suspicious
on him.
birds.
Although,
I mean,
to be fair, I don't think these birds could hurt me, so I think I'm fine.
can you break the corruption on the stone, or just destroy the stone?
Oh, that's probably a question for the Dwarfen of like nearby village. They might be able to, depending on how far along
Well,
it's gone.
I mean, here's the thing, though. It's also evidence of their guilt, so
Yeah.
I don't want to destroy evidence.
That's true.
Mm.
So yeah, you all rest. And yes, Alfie's taking watch as you kind of stare into the fire, just kind of like watching things go by. You feel kind of drawn to it, and then you notice the bloody figures standing in the fire, staring back at you.
Dun dun.
And like his eyes are gonna kind of widen a little bit, but he can't seem to draw his eyes away from that. And he's gonna kind of start leaning forward a bit in the stool or whatever he's sitting at, before he like kind of catches himself and he jerks himself back as he kind of blinks and rubs his eyes a little bit.
Yeah, and they're gone. They're not there at the moment. But you do feel that it suddenly got very cold.
He's gonna kind of scooch a couple inches closer to the fire, hold his hands out, and then he's gonna start looking around. And does this place seem to have any booze or liquor stashed around here?
Oh yeah, of course it does. Yeah.
He's gonna find a bottle and he's going to kind of like half an eye on the fire. He's gonna unscrew a bottle and he's going to use that to numb himself a little bit to the disturbing visions of the fire.
Great. So yeah, you're just gonna down the drink.
Yeah.
And the night goes by a little bit. Yeah, not much else goes on.
Okay.
You all manage to get some rest, recovering any temporary trauma that you've had.
Oh boy.
Which I won't tell you what you did. Okay, done. Recovering a little bit, but you do get a sense that it's hard to rest in that location because
Yeah.
you could still feel whatever it was. It's just down there, It's just not that far away from you, and you can still feel its presence kind of like emanating through the floors.
Yeah.
Whatever the Morkyle had become.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Spooky.
day comes, and you all get ready and like pack things up, ready to move on and head towards Mudan.
Yup, with 2 prisoners in tow.
Yep.
Great.
And I guess lightly burying 2 bodies.
So yeah, you can see on the map there is Mudan, and then there's High Mudan.
hmm
But yeah, you're heading to Mudan first. Cool.
Normal Mudan and Cuckoo Mudan. Yes.
Yeah. Crazy
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Haibudan is off the pit trail, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
It's got a little path.
Well, I just mean that we take a hard right, or sorry, left, a hard left into the
Yes.
mountains before we would ever reach Haibudan.
Yeah,
But we
we promised that we would.
help.
yeah.
Yeah.
Help her find out
Oh,
what the hell.
and they're in Haibudan?
Yeah, in High Mudan.
Oh,
But
sorry.
You're
Okay.
heading to Lower Mudan first. So yeah, as you kind of head towards Mudan, you don't get the sense of like what she told you. But then again, this is like the normal Mudan.
Mhm.
They all seem like quite a cheerful bunch. In fact, like a lot of them come like rushing over, kind of asking you questions like, "Ooh, strangers, ooh, where have you come from?"
Oh yes, I'm a university professor. Let me tell you about the wonders of magicience.
And like when you say the wonders of magicides, the
Everett recoil.
Morphin goes forward and says, "Enough of that."
Oh well, I was just getting into the processes and theory. Oh, but I think you might be the person we're looking for.
Oh, they
Yes,
she
we
didn't
have.
start throwing stones at him. They have high restraint here in Wudan.
Yeah.
We have prisoners here for you.
Prisoners.
According,
Bandits.
well, a little more complicated than that.
Is there anyone here on the council I could speak to?
In the council?
Yes.
Well, no, but the council is meeting soon. You can leave any prisoners with me, and I can take them to the meeting.
All right. Well, I'd probably pull out the letter then from my pouch and wrap it around the two stones, and I'll hand that over to this person and say these are two stones that were corrupted on the path.
Yes. Yeah.
The letter acknowledges a locale from ages past, and the prisoners were in league with it.
The muffin kind of like looks over the he's kind of fairly young, so probably just come out of being Iothan and like essentially got his own practice. So it's like he's gone for a trainee doctor too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like fairly handsome looking, got like blonde hair and a beard, and kind of looks over and goes, "This is a little above me. Yeah, I will take this to the council."
You said you were gonna take it to the council. I'm not giving it to you. I'm giving it to them in way of you.
Yeah. Oh, of course. And then he just kind of like puts it all back in the pouch, and then goes like, "Yes. Anyway, welcome to Medan. We'll take the we don't have anywhere really to store prisons." And he just kind of looks around.
I mean, how long until the council arrives?
Well, a few weeks.
I'm sure you must have a
Right.
barn around here somewhere.
As long as you keep them tied and you feed them regularly and give them water, it should be fine. Like
There
a
should
horse.
be a local jail here, or drunk tank at the least.
Yeah,
Do you
okay,
have a
well,
ring or something?
I'll find somewhere for the same. For now, enjoy the town.
Mm.
If anything comes of this, I'll get back to you. He
Right.
kind of just like starts escorting them away. And there's like several other. It's not just him. Like he gets several of the town folk just to kind of like take the prisoners as he heads back to his home. So yeah, you're in Mudan. I actually have a
And I turn to Gumho. I take it you're not just a simple guide, are you?
Nope, I am quite simple. Simple as they come.
Except you know the ways of nature and magic and those of the council.
I mean, silence and a shrug.
I mean,
see.
I'd still put him as fairly simple, but I understand what you mean.
Do not underestimate him.
Well,
I mean,
never
to
said
be
I
fair,
would.
Simon, you did walk into Mudan declaring Magicians. One might say that you are yourself fairly simple.
I never said I wasn't either.
Ignorant, I think, is the word he's looking for.
People just seem so excited.
Yes, don't do that.
Yes, maybe perhaps wait until you're a couple of leagues north, where people are more accepting of destroying the world around them.
Oh, I mean, I just like in talking about my studies.
Yes, well, that was certain to upset people around here.
They just don't know what can benefit them.
Yes, indeed.
Give it a few more years, I'm sure it'll even make its way down here.
Well, I mean, it's not like we all tried to kill one another 40 years ago over this very same thing.
I mean, not that I was alive for that. It's a new generation. It's a new time. I'm sure.
No, I dare
Sure, no
say
one will
none
hold
of
a
us were
grudge.
alive during that time. I say with 100% knowledge that none of us were allowed to be that old.
Either way, I think we should find some lodging.
Yes.
Right, and we have
Good idea.
Evans here with us as well.
So, yeah, you can easily find lodging. I'm just getting the map, which is
They stew.
So, Simon,
Yes.
since we have a new assignment for ourselves on how to help the lady, I think we have to put and hold your expedition. Or did she mention something about knowing where Gregory, your mentor, Gregory, correct?
Right. Or well, we were both friends with Gregory. You see, she knows a little bit, and I intend to ask her today.
She doesn't seem to be very friendly now. The way she described him was disparaging him in some ways. I think the words "old fart" crossed her lips.
She's not incorrect, but I imagine she's in a bit of a sour mood at the moment for reasons I think we both understand.
They're pretty. It's loss of family. It's a thing, and guards and dignity.
I'm sure once the stress is off of her, she'll be able to use gentler words.
Yes, and less strangulations. I hope.
Well, again, I can't begrudge her.
I'd say I'm doing them as well. Although, to be honest, I would have strung the two of them in a nearby tree and done over. But there are ways, and there are ways. And
Mhm.
there will be a lot of questions of where did we see two hanging bodies from a tree. It would have to explain about dark presences, and I think that would work.
All right. In the meanwhile, I guess I'll go and speak with her again and make sure we're clear on everything then.
okay. Yeah. I'm just
So,
gonna.
I'll go to her and I'm just going to make sure I completely understand. We want to find her son. Her son is basically was supposed to be shipwrecked, but instead, a weird old guy who wants to apprentice to some old witch took her son with them, using the shipwreck as an excuse. They've been seen out here. She's willing to give us a note that we can cash in for money later, and she happens to know something about Gregory.
Yep. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think she's actually told us what she knows about Gregory yet. So I will.
No. She's like.
And I'll go. I've agreed to do everything that I can to help if we can. Uh, what is it that you know then?
Well,
What's befallen Gregory?
that's a picture of her, by the way.
Hey, there we go.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. So, she says, "Oh, well, like I said, I've met him on the road as I've been, well, searching for my son. He seemed very out of sorts. Started rambling on about some rather strange things, and said that he was heading to some manor house up in the mountains.
Did he specify a name, a surname for a family that owns the manor, the
Oh,
village that it's in?
uh,
Is
just
it the Morkoffs?
Oh, Clanmarrock.
Merrick, yes.
Yeah, it was Clanmarrock. Yeah, that's the name.
Glenmark.
Yeah. And that is pronounced this.
Merrick.
Yeah, Glenmark. Yeah.
Fla.
Clameric.
I see. Well, at least now I have a better idea of where exactly he went. He didn't quite leave very specific notes, if I'm being honest. He's never been that good.
Yeah, his stories are interesting. He said that he'd just come from the manor and he was heading back. He said that he'd seen some woman up there and that he felt that he had to get a message out because he was going to die.
And he's probably
Oh
already
dear.
dead.
What could have possibly given him so much stress?
He's probably already dead.
Well, I mean, I would hope not.
No, he is.
Just because one fears for the life doesn't mean it's always true, but...
No. You don't see that woman. That woman's part of a curse.
Are you so certain?
My research points to it, yes.
Tell me the
Look at
tale.
Look at the book.
All
What
right,
I have.
I'll read the book. I've gotten 10 pages in last night. Ugh.
I highlighted the portions you should read.
Yeah, so it tells
Ooh,
you much about
highlights.
the curse and that the red they call it the Red Lady essentially. She's when you hear a voice, it's said in legend that you go mad if you hear a voice or hear a song, and if you see her, then you die within the week.
Oh, and it takes almost a whole week just to travel here and back. He must have been in quite a rush then. But if was heading back,
He didn't
what would
make
he
it
head back for then?
to warn people not to.
He said he had to get a message out.
All right.
That's what
So
he
he
said.
did, but then he returned to the manor. Did he think that there was some way he could stop it? Or was he up to something else?
He believed he had some kind of answer. I didn't see him after that.
Well, I still do hope he's all right. The curse or not, I'll see it when I believe it. I want to make sure he's either well, or at least what's happened to him. I suppose as for your son, well, I guess I'll look over to Julia's ago, so where should we begin with that?
Well, she already said where we have to
Oh.
go.
I suppose so.
Well, you can investigate in this town. They probably know because Mudan is essentially High Mudan is essentially part of Mudan that kind of separated from it. And
Yeah, just a little up and down the mountains. I guess I could actually inquire around and ask people about this person. Maybe someone's heard something. Maybe someone's seen something. Do a little bit of investigation and work.
okay.
And I guess that would fall under relation.
So as you you're in the inn at the moment and kind of talking and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Get them. God damn it. And the PDF has died. Right. Great. That's
As it usually does, yes.
That's fantastic. Yeah, so cool. Yeah, a young man kind of approaches you. He's yeah, so Yeah, he appears to be probably in charge of the town. And he's noticed that you've kind of been discussing things for a while. He takes most interest in Simon, though. And says, can we talk in private? Away from any...
Uh, well, I don't see why not. So we have a private room.
Thank you.
So we'll take him over there. We'll like pull up like a chair and sit down. So well, my name is Simon. Who might you be?
My name is Darlin. What I'd like to know is, I'm guessing by your accoutrement that you are a maginist.
That would be absolutely correct.
Right. Can you teach me how to extract flux?
Well, I haven't quite finished all of my research, but I could tell you of the basic principles and such. And I guess this is a toss-up to the GM. I know that one of the Magiscience disciplines here is for flux extraction, and I assume if I don't have it, I can't actually do it.
You can't actually do it. You know the principles of it, but you can't do it yourself.
Okay, so yeah, I'll go ahead and say it as much. Like, I've done plenty of research. I have a few books and notes. I just need to complete one of my theses. You see,
Yeah.
I could bring you up to speed of what I know.
Yeah. Of course. And
I do have a rate for tutoring, of course. We aren't quite in the university, and is a bit impromptu, but
well, if you have
won't
any
be.
books or anything, I will be happy to pay you for them.
Well, I do have a few of them. I'll go ahead and negotiate with him a little bit. So I don't specifically have anything purchased right now, but I assume I have like study materials of my own or something, right? So, how do you want to handle like a negotiation like that?
I'm gonna say that you probably you're a imaginist. You probably have books. That's yeah. So
I guess it's like I guess I get paid like 1 azure a day as a professor here.
yeah.
So if I just charge him 1 for that, then that probably covers like tutoring
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
And if he wants like all the books, like I guess that's a second one.
Okay. And the PDFs come back up. Now we can finally check. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. No, he's not the guy that's in charge. He is a priest, which makes it even weirder that you just asked about magians.
Yeah, a little interesting. But I mean, I'm more than happy to share knowledge and teach people who are curious.
Yeah. So yeah, he's a blind priest. Came over to you, and
he's blind and he wants the books.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, I just realized that. Yeah, someone could read it to him.
Which is going to be awkward because this is probably something that he wants to keep secret. So
yeah, he's got to have a co-conspirator here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like the price is like 2 azure. Then that makes sense, right?
Yeah. So he pays that. Has a surprising amount of money for being a priest.
Yeah. So what's gotten you interested in it these days? I mean, I've always had a fascination with these, with the way artifacts function and the principles behind them.
It's mostly a curiosity of mine. I try to keep an open mind.
I see.
I am not as closed-minded as the rest of the temple.
That's always good. I always think that there's never harm in learning more and trying to figure out how the natural world works. Whether it be the strange mysteries that some of my friends seem to know more about than I do, or or even just common principles like medicine.
Yeah, it's something that has intrigued me is the idea of there being, something beyond the power of the one.
Hmm.
And then he kind of looks around and then just kind of like just takes the book and just kind of walks off. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you for your time.
And then bows and walks out.
I'll be through again in perhaps a week if you want to talk more. And of course, you could always find me down in, what was it, like Osterbale?
That's the Bible, yeah.
Yeah, you can always find me there.
Yeah. And yeah, he leaves and he gets it. Yeah, he's definitely trying to hide that he has this curiosity and he's just sort of holding it to him, kind of looking around.
I got like a
Yeah.
backpack. I actually might actually just go ahead and offer that to him if he needs to just hide it in something.
Oh, he's gonna tuck it under his robes.
Okay, good. It's like, now just hold the book in front of everyone. Just let your arms go.
I have a book.
He's blind. He doesn't know what other people can see.
Yeah.
Amazing. He can actually get back to his place of residence with his arms like this while blind.
Oh, he's been in the village for long enough. He knows the way.
He's probably not completely blind. He's probably just like heavily vision impaired or
Yeah,
something.
something like that. Yeah. Okay. So while that is going on, did you all go into the back room, or
No, I
was it
mean,
just you?
yeah, I wasn't invited, and I
No.
yeah.
Okay. So the rest of you, basically, the villagers have kind of taken a great interest in you, and like one of them, like a young man with shaggy hair, saying like, we don't see many coming through here, and we don't often like leave the village. So, do you have any stories you can tell us?
Well, there's elevators in the city south. You have to be careful. They wait for a long time. But you can try very good conversations, people waiting. Sometimes they have huge queues of people just waiting, and you hear the most interesting stories. For example, there was Martinez, cat, who eventually, the poor thing got caught in a medicine's light thing, and, well, managed to take out the lights of 3 entire blocks. Somehow the cat survived. I think he's down to 7 lives now.
Okay, can you make me a performance roll?
Can I make a performance roll? I guess I can.
Performance, the skill we've all been waiting for.
Oh yeah, a 5.
With the +1. Oh gosh.
As you say that, they're all like the guy that's that asked you about that is just kind of like looking elsewhere, and then you notice that some people have actually fallen asleep.
Which is typical when I actually get into this. I'm not.
All right.
Maybe charming, but not necessarily.
Seeing this display, Alfie is gonna slap the table. But if you want to hear a real story, let me tell you about the time me and my mates hunted a huge wild boar back in my time in the militia. Oh, I tell you, it must have been easily tusks this long, and he really exaggerates with that showmanship. And we tracked it for hours and hours through bogs and fens until finally we saw it the size of a very, very small barn. But of course, I took aim across a good many leagues. And I shot it straight through the eye, feeding my entire company for days. I tell you now, that is a real hunt.
Okay, give me a pause roll. I'll give you a +2 on that.
With a +2, all right.
Really.
All right. My performance is not good, but with a +2, let's have him.
Okay.
Yes, something.
Plus 12.
Something.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the most enthralling story for them, but they're definitely like they're interested in listening.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to try telling a story?
No, I'm probably in the back asleep from Julius' story.
Okay.
Okay. All right. What's the man got to do to get some stew around here?
Oh well, coming up, sir, and then like
Orders.
yeah, they bring you some stew.
I appreciate it.
Uh,
Okay. Let me look how much that actually is. So I can pay for it.
So as that's going on, you hear like an argument between two young men getting seems to be very drunken and also very loud. It's like, no, I could do it. I bet you I could do it. And the other one's going, no, I couldn't. No, you can't do it.
Well then. Finish his bowl. What's all this then?
Well, I bet that I could go to Helga's house and steal her undergarments. But he
And your
said,
friend here.
no,
Yes.
I can't do it. But I know I can.
Oh. You say he can steal them, and why not?
Well, I said, put your money on the table. Well, you want to be part of the bet?
Well, no, I just want to see where this goes.
All right, then.
All the way to the scene of the crime.
Yes.
And then he's like, well, fine. And then
Just
you
going
know,
on into
stay
doing
through the
something
house.
stupid.
And take 2 embers. I want to see you grab them.
All right. And then kind of they leave.
I
And
follow them.
kind of like drunkenly kind of walk across. And then they start doing, like, you know when a kid tries to sneak?
Yeah.
That's essentially what they start doing. And then they kind of like squat next to a hedge. One of them just kind of looks around, goes, all right, if you can do it, I'll pay you. I can do it. Sure. At that point, they're so loud that people are coming out of their houses. And you see like the window kind of light up as someone has like lit their lantern.
All right, Alfie's gonna like grab his shoulder, shake it. It's now or never, friend.
Go! And he just kind of runs, and it just like grabs him off the clothesline, and then starts running through the village like, yeah!
Alfie's gonna scream, "Run, you legend!"
And he just starts running. Well, guess they owe me coin then. And just kind of like slumps into the hedge.
Fucking myth. Excellent. Well, let's extract him from the hedge, and he's gonna like, I'll take care of those for you, and he's gonna take the undergarments and try and put them back on the line.
Okay. Yeah, he's like he's running for a while, and then just kind of like topples.
Yeah. Let's get him back. Is anybody nearby who knows this guy lives? Like, this gent lives?
Oh yeah, sure. And just kind of like grabs him, starts dragging him. Come on, come on. It's time to get you home.
Very cool. Very cool.
And
All
drag him into my house.
right, and after that, he's gonna head on back to the tavern. Very cool.
Great. Okay, so you wanted to investigate, kind of ask around town about the
Yeah.
about Higher Mudan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go person to person, do some inquiries, ask the right questions, things like that. And I guess that would be a relation, like I was thinking, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give it a roll. A 10. Someone else can give it a try too, I guess. Julius, you're accompanying me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the interesting thing is, the place seems so jovial and light, but as soon as you mention that, there's a dead silence, and it's as if like all the atmosphere just gets sucked right out of the room.
Oh dear. Well, you've definitely seen him then, right?
You've seen several people come through heading to that place.
Oh dear.
We don't like to talk about them.
Bad relations, I take it. Or bad neighbors.
Well, when one group calls themselves the Pure and then says that the other side are unclean, and it's not a great relation.
Perfectly understandable, yes. But have they, aside from making empty claims about purity, have they done anything other than to displease you?
They didn't hurt anyone in town, did they?
I hope not.
No, but they're constantly recruiting.
Uh,
They're constantly like taking people away,
well,
and people are
taking,
getting caught up in their madness.
convincing people to join them,
Yeah,
as opposed to just literally taking them.
yeah. They're so although the land occupied by the recently by this village is officially part of our lord's fiefdom, the Pure, as they call themselves, have settled without getting any authorization to do so,
Mhm.
or even, actually asking for it. They've they've settled up in an area that is known to be pretty inhospitable, but that didn't seem to be much of a problem for them because soon they built the village up there. Um, it goes to pass that officially High Mudan should become a vassal of the Lord, but for some reason
Mhm.
they they don't respect any authority other than their own.
Fun.
So the political climate is, it's yeah.
Interesting. And the Lord has done nothing to reverse this. I take it.
Well, you see, they've got their hooks in him, kind of manipulating him a little bit, and he's kind of overlooked it and let them have their own little fiefdom of their own.
We'll have to have something more on them than just simply a matter of sympathy. After all, anyone who declares himself to be free from a lord's lands defies the lord, and that means it can lead to other people having similar ideas.
But it's. I don't want to speak ill of my lord, but
You should not.
he's rolled over for them.
Oh.
At least that's what it feels like.
Nice.
And
No, you have spoken the truth, so I don't think that will have made major repercussions, at least not from us.
yeah, he kind of like looks around and just takes a sip of his ale and says, "Well, I've said too much."
Yeah, well,
And-
fascinating. I think maybe the world of political intrigue is a little bit beyond us.
Understandable. Thank you for your time and your concerns. You'll be most helpful.
Yeah, so he leaves. Another kind of was listening to the conversation and said, "Are you talking about them crazies up in High Mudan?"
Sounds like they are just that. Yes.
A couple of them.
Yeah, they're insane. You see, they have this idea of what it means to be pure.
Mhm.
If you have any kind of shortcoming, then they won't let you in.
Are we talking about literally being short, or are we talking about people, say, with a cleft foot or something like that? Something more visible.
Yeah, so only the strongest. It's basically only the strongest are allowed in Higher Mudan. So that's what they deem pure. And he said, I've heard strange talks about that place. I haven't gone there myself, but if you're heading there, watch the roads because they're most likely they've caught sight of you before you've caught sight of them.
Let's see. So difficult to, shall we say, insinuate ourselves in there.
Oh yeah, they
Mm-hmm.
they control the road up to Higher Medan, and they, like I said, they've got eyes all along the road.
Mm.
So I've heard people think that they feel that they're constantly being watched as they head up that road.
I've already had that feeling yesterday.
Mm.
It's not birds.
Well, we'll take it into consideration. Thank you for your time. And I pay for his drink. It's like,
Yeah.
worth another round to calm the nerves, so to speak.
Okay, so you take lodging for the night. People leave to go back home, and nobody needs to keep watch or anything like that. Mudan seems perfectly nice place. It's just that there's a bunch of crazies up the road.
Of course.
And yeah, day comes around.
That's another 2 Rin death.
Yeah. The first thing that you are greeted by when you come out is 2 young men are practicing with weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like in the streets. Which only one of you looks like a fighter, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, well, they kind of like stop their fighting and this as they see Alfie, and they say, "Oh, hello there. We're just practicing, ready to go into our military service. We would like to know any kind of. Do you know any special like techniques or anything?
He's gonna kind of lean back a little bit on the door frame. Well, what are they actually using? Like, what weapons are they using?
Oh, just practice swords.
Okay. Well, I gotta say you're pretty. So you're pretty Shit, what's the word? I'm so tired.
It's okay. We're almost done.
Ambitious, or
Yeah.
or pretty overly hopeful. If you're gonna be wielding a sword in the levy, they're probably gonna give you a spear if you're just being drawn up. But pretty much don't worry about fighting the person in front of you. Worry about fighting whoever's fighting your mate. That's a guy who's much easier to stab. Basically, all I can say is you gotta rub the back of his neck. Just try and kill them before they kill you. I never seen much point in defense myself. Either of you work a crossbow?
No, we're mostly training martial weapons.
Well,
We were also like trained for the tournaments, and then like one of them says, "Oh yeah, the tournament." Oh, but there was that guy last time. What guy? The one from that place, the crazy place.
hold on. What tournament?
Oh, we have a local tournament now and again where we just kind of feats of strength, fighting, you know, marksmanship, that kind of thing.
Don't suppose that's happening soon.
No. It's literally just come. But they let in one of them, and it's pretty strange. Like the guy didn't really speak to anyone, and when he did, like it was all you know, all that kind of mumbo jumbo that they speak.
Sure.
But then we try to relate to him. He's the same age as us. I mean, we try to talk about that we're off to go to the military. Like surely they were going to go over to the military, but it seems they're exempt for some reason.
Well, yeah, I heard some of my friends talking about how they aren't really with the Baron anymore.
Well, yeah. It seems that it's not that they're not with the Baron anymore. It's that they're controlling the Baron. That's at least that's what I've heard. But that might be might just be stories. But it seems that way.
Well, they've started working their magics on the Baron, then we have ourselves a problem. But regardless, I do wish you fellows luck in your service. I'm sure it'll be quite the adventure for you. Just try not to get too close to the front.
They nod and go back to training. Okay, so what would you like to do now in town?
I think we just have to find a way up there.
Okay.
Is they probably? Oh yeah, I want to ask around. I mean, they're recruiting people, and I want to ask around anybody who's been recently recruited.
Okay. That's gonna be a relation check. Again, this is not something they want to talk about.
No, but
Yeah.
trying to get rumors and whatnot. A 17.
17. Okay. There's a farmer whose boy went up and hasn't come back. That's the closest thing that you can get. Give him a name. Multiple tabs. Say Callum. Yeah. So Callum went up there, and apparently he hasn't come back, and that's what you get from the conversation. That's the recent one that you know about. But there are talks of like other people that have gone up there and kind of joined with them.
And what exactly do they promise people that seems so enticing? Life after death, purity of thought, freeing from mortal coil, the usual.
Purity. Talking to the same person. It's like I couldn't really tell you that because I haven't heard what they say themselves. But apparently, it's this idea of this pure community is what's enticing people, and that they'd be favored by by the nature spirits for being pure.
I see. Oh, that's interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. So, yeah, you spend the rest of the morning after you've had some breakfast, kind of investigating around town. Nobody else really wants to talk about it. They just want to get on with their lives.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, we get to the point where you have to get everything ready and you start heading up that road.
Yeah, everything still points up the road.
All right.
Anais comes along with you because she wants to, because obviously she knows what a sun looks like. You don't.
Right. I have like a vague idea, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah. And you head up the road,
Mhm.
and just as they said, you feel those eyes upon you, and as you approach the gates, several men step in front of the gates, blades drawn, and I think that's probably where we're going to end tonight.
Oh,
Ooh, dramatic. Waylaid by
Okay.
the guards themselves.
very
Yeah.
nice.
So there we go. That's the first session. Yes. So I'm just saying that you did complete one of the adventures, which was, if anyone wants to read it, Bloody Feathers. That's the name of it.
Not bad.
So let's get you some XP. So the way that XP is done is quite interesting in this. You had to have used. So the idea is that you learn by doing. So you had to have used the skill that you're increasing during that adventure to learn from it and increase it.
Okay. So you gotta try stuff to be good at it.
Yeah,
Try and
exactly.
be stealthy.
So, the idea is that it doesn't make sense that you suddenly learn swimming after you've done this whole adventure of climbing stuff, and so I'm just gonna get the experience things because it's done by like how difficult things were overcome and how well you overcame them. It's not like a simple XP system. So cool. Okay, first of all, right. You have it's 1 to 5, and then there's confrontation, progression of the plot, interpretation of the player character, and it's 1 to 5. I'm just going to do this for the overall group just to make it easy. Otherwise, we'll end up with people with mismatched XP.
Yeah, that's
So,
fair.
so I'm going to average it out. So, confrontation. Well, there was our first confrontation, which was the
Oh dear.
people in the shack. And then you also confronted and overcame some horrible dark being in the mine. So I'm going to say that's a free. So you get free XP from that.
All right.
That's
Where
the
do we
rule,
put,
yeah.
where do we put the? Okay, here we go.
Bottom.
Okay, progression of the plot. You're definitely progressing the plot. Again, we've learnt a lot, and you have brought the entire group together. I'm going to say that's a free.
Nice.
And interpretation of player
Lovely.
characters. I believe everyone played their player characters. You played your flaws. You played your things. We even had some madness creep in there. So that's free. Yeah, free all over. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. Or 3s.
Okay, so spending experience points. Oh my!
One
Oh.
short of getting anything.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. Well, you've got some XP.
So
Yeah,
9
the
in
cheapest
total.
thing you can get is 10. So
But that's for another time. So yeah,
Mhm.
thank you everyone for coming with me on this dark adventure.
Mm-hmm.
We look forward to
Yeah.
next time.
Nice.
So if
Alright.
anyone wants to say anything, advertise anything before
Yeah.
we head
Lessons,
off?
you want to go first?
Sure. Some lessons learned. I go by lessons learned 1 on Twitch. The 1 is important. I will be running the later game tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern. D&D into the Wild Coast with some of the fellows that are here, and some other people are going to join us. We're going to do exploration of the wilderness and pushing back the darkness therein of the Orcish Empire, or maybe just befriending orcs. Who knows? Let's see what happens. And also, I'm a writer. I have a book over at Amazon, ebook, Nights and Stars, and you can check it out. 99 cents, just night with a K, so you don't miss it. And finally, you can check my finishing the playthrough of, hopefully finally this week or next week, of Pathfinder Kingmaker, all this week over at my channel. So you're more than welcome.
All right. So, I'm Griffin. This is Theta. We run the channel here. Come and stay with us for Urban Jungle coming up in 20 minutes. And, of course, like Lesson said, Dungeons & Dragons, where we're going to go exploring and have some fun. So, be here, like, comment, subscribe, hit the plus button, or whatever social media thing, buy a plushie, you know. You've all heard the drill. You know the calls to action. And, of course, thank you for running today, and thanks, everyone, for being here.
Awesome. So yeah, I'll just say before we go that I will be running also a Conan campaign eventually in the future,
That's
and
right.
he'll be there to
Wednesdays.
enjoy it. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and stay tuned for the next episode.
And I'm sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
No, you didn't. Audible.com is a
Skillshare. Curiosity Stream. All right.
NordVPN.
Before we get inundated by ads, quick.
All right.
Yeah.
See ya.